Hi there, Jan. Welcome. First of all, welcome to the event. Welcome to the Odoo experience.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming. So today we will talk a little bit about Jan's project with Odoo, which is a language school. But first, to give a small introduction to the project and what has been done, we will start with a short video for you all.
Here at Kickstart School we teach 3 languages, Dutch, English and Mandarin Chinese. We teach mainly expats. We also teach their family members. So we actually teach all age groups, all levels from beginner to advanced. We are very flexible. We teach private courses, we have group courses, online courses, face-to-face courses, you name it. 20 years ago, I started off with 1 student and gradually I expanded. And now we work with a team of 30 plus freelancers, and I now have 5 people, staff in the office helping, managing the administrative side of Kickstart School. As we are expanding, we increasingly experience strain in the administration. And I really want to make the processes easier and more flowing for my staff, because I can see they suffer from all the separate systems that don't communicate with each other. As our business gets more complicated, we need help. So then we can focus on the really important thing, and that's our students.
The main challenge we had, which actually got us to start looking for a solution, was that our website, which was a bespoke website, could not be maintained anymore. We had a problem with the company who made the website, so we needed a new website, and ideally a website which was fully integrated with all the other applications. So we started looking, and we found through our network a company who said that they had good experience with Odoo. We looked at the Odoo website and actually found that it might be a good solution for us. So we came in via the website, and then we saw all the other linkages between the applications, and now we basically replaced kind of like 6-7 applications with 1 application. Something which is happening anyways is marketing. So we're marketing Kickstart School in different ways, and one of the applications we're using in Odoo is the email marketing. That works very well, and we're very pleased with that. So one of the savings was that we could stop using MailChimp, and now we're using email marketing through Odoo. We have 4 terms every year. A term kind of starts with the course planning. So we would plan around 50 to 60 courses. After the course planning, we generate upload files in Excel, which we upload into the event module in Odoo. We then publish these courses to the website. So that's only switching on the publish switch, and then they would be available for visitors of the website to be looked at. So a potential student who is visiting the website can compare the courses, and then they can select a course. They can decide to pay straight away, or they can select the pay later option. If they're not sure about their level, they can do an online level test, which we do through the surveys module in Odoo. So we test the level of the students. They basically fill out 40 questions, and then an assessment is made of their level. They will then receive a registration confirmation, an invoice if the course hasn't been paid already. And then just before the course starts, they get joining instructions also from Odoo. We then also have some instructions, of course, for the teachers. So they get an attendee list, which we also print out from the event module directly from Odoo. And finally, the students get a certificate, which we also print out from the event module in Odoo. So you probably heard quite a lot of use of the event module. Of course, the website, surveys, sales, invoicing and contact applications are the main workhorses for our business processes here at Kickstart School. First of all, I would say the overall costs are lower than the cost for all the different applications we're replacing. We can also kind of move everything now to the cloud, so we don't need kind of an IT infrastructure here in the office, so that's also a saving. I would say the other saving is the easier way of paying, so people who register for a course can also decide to pay straight away. That makes the whole financial process flow a lot more streamlined. They pay online, they immediately get an invoice, and that saves us quite a lot of time, both in the generation of these invoices, the emailing, but also later kind of chasing people who haven't paid. That is less work because we have more people who pay straight away. So the traditional kind of hassle of chasing people to pay has reduced because of that. I would say it's also a bit of a Swiss Army knife, so you can tailor it to your business processes. So the Swiss Army knife, I think, is probably one of the key things which kind of for us has kind of helped us to kind of implement Odoo with a very minimal amount of development.
Okay, great video. And we saw during the video, Jan, that you were introduced as a project manager during the implementation. Could you maybe highlight a little bit what your role was and what did that mean throughout the implementation?
Yeah, so we entered the Odoo pipeline when I registered for the Odoo experience last year. Was contacted by someone from the pre-sales, Cedric, and later kind of with Alexander. And quite quickly we decided to go for the project and do it with Odoo. We had Raluca Vellucci, who was there, kind of our trusted and very good project lead in Odoo. And I was her counterpart in the company. We worked really as a team with another expert user and basically developed the complete implementation together. So it worked very well, and I must say I was quite impressed from the very beginning with the quality of the people in Odoo. That's been a real pleasure and really one of the critical success factors, I think, for the project.
Great. And just for the people in the audience, do you have a background in as a project manager, or did you have some similar projects in the past that you've accompanied?
Yeah, so I worked for 30 years at Shell. I've now kind of stopped there, and I'm now kind of doing various IT projects. I didn't start like Fabien when I was 13 programming, but I was like 16 or so, which is a long time ago. So I also enjoy the program, and that's one of the things I enjoy most with also Odoo, that you can actually do a lot yourself and automate things. And we continue doing that during our kind of our journey.
Okay. And are there currently some other projects you are working on similarly?
Yeah, so I'm also working in data science projects. I'm actually also lecturing data analytics at a school, so various projects which keep me busy.
Okay, great. One question we already highlighted a little bit, but how was the project executed, or which party did you?
Yeah, so we did look at a local partner in the Netherlands, but in the end we opted to work with Odoo, and I think the connection with the experts in Odoo, the connection with the technical support there, I think we thought that would be a benefit. And in the end, that has really kind of paid off, because we did want to kind of implement with the minimal amount of customization. And I think through that link, we managed to do that.
Okay. One of the most interesting questions that I had after watching this video is that you are quite a specific type of customer, if I can say so, in a very specific industry, being teaching languages.
Yes.
So the question I had was, how were you able to fit that specific type of business, if I can say it like this, in a standard way into Odoo with limiting the amount of developments? How were you able to do that or manage that?
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, we are a language school. For those who would like to do an online Dutch, English or Chinese language course, check the QR codes and you can actually register right now as we speak. So, small sales pitch. We managed to do that, I think. First of all, of course, we had Raluca, who kept saying no customization. We need to use the standard tool. So that was one good kind of reason. On the other hand, we also kind of thought, okay, it's good to keep the customization low, because you're going to lose time with customization because you have the whole process of specifying and executing and testing, etc. So we wanted to move faster. And of course, also being Dutch, kind of frugal as we are, we didn't want to spend a lot of money. So the less customization that you do, the lower the cost, both fixed initial cost, but also the recurring cost. So, and I think I'm actually proud to say that we kept it under 100 lines. We still have a few lines left. You see the two things where we did need the customization was on the surveys, make a connection from the people who do an online test to test their language level, and then link that to a contact and then put them in the CRM pipeline. That was impossible to do without customization. And then at the very top, you see our the header of our website. You see the number, the review score, which is 9.4. Very proud of that, or at least my wife. It's my wife's company, so very proud of that. And but that also required some customization. So that was all we did, and the rest was all trying to use the existing apps, mainly the events app, which we customized to make it really into a language course app. And I think in the end that worked well.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Did you, following up on the previous question, did you have to make a lot of concessions to make it possible? Did you have to drop a couple of requirements, or was it just being flexible and open?
Yeah, so I think the main challenge we had was the checkout process of the events module. We're still a little bit struggling with that. We want to make it a bit more build them some logic that, for instance, if it's a parent registering their child, or if it's a student who's entitled to a discount, we wanted to build in a bit more there, and that's not possible without the customization. So I fear that to get to that level, we will need some more customization, unless, of course, there is something hidden in Odoo 16 which I'm not aware of, but I don't think so. So that's the ultimate, yeah.
Yes, and those are the next steps planned for the coming months.
Exactly.
Okay. Following up on that question, during the implementations, were there any obstacles that you came across throughout the implementation, or was it smooth sailing all along?
Yeah, so we started last year. I just checked when we paid the first invoice. It was the 17th of November, so for the subscription. So we were approaching a year. It went quite well. We did tailor it into different steps. We didn't go live with everything, so we went live with accounting on the 1st of January. We introduced the surveys module, and then slowly we approached the full go live, which was in the beginning of July. So we've only been running for a limited period of time. I would say in general, it works quite well. We are happy. What isn't great, and I think there's room for improvement there within the Odoo apps, is first of all, I think the documentation. For some parts of Odoo, there's very good documentation. For some, there's limited, but there's quite a lot where there's, or at least I haven't been able to find the documentation. So that's, I think, an area for improvement. Mm-hmm. I think secondly, the reports and the email templates, it's quite tricky to program them, and especially if you're a more experienced user, mm-hmm. It's almost but not really into coding. I think it's difficult. So that's the other thing. And what our users are finding quite problematic, I think, is that if they interact with customers from a particular app, the chatter and all the correspondence is in that app. If they then go to a different app, the correspondence is in there. So they find it quite difficult to keep track of all the communication with customers. So that's also an area where maybe we're struggled a little bit. But all in all, I think it's been a great success, and the users are very happy. Even the most critical, cynical ones, when I asked them, are you happy with the implementation? They said, yes, there's room for improvement, but overall, they very much appreciate what we've introduced for them and built for them.
Okay, so a couple of work points also from our side to make it even more evolving within the school. An interesting thing that you managed is about the chatter and the way that the internal people communicate with each other. which follows up a little bit on the next question I have regarding change management. You've mentioned that before using Odoo, you were using 7 different tools. So making the switch from 7 different tools to one integrated tool that can cover all parts of the business, I guess it was also kind of tricky on the employees to switch the solutions. How were they able to manage that change management? How were you able to onboard the colleagues at Kickstart School to start using Odoo from day one?
Yeah. Now, I think we, of course, had a situation where our website could not be maintained anymore. So there was a bit of a kind of a sense of urgency. Everyone realized, okay, we need to kind of change. We need to something new. So that helped. We of course had the 7 different applications, and some of the users, some of the people in the administration really liked some aspects of those applications. But we were quite quickly able to show them that the flexibility of kind of dealing with looking at data, the transparency, and seeing data from different applications in one screen, for instance, kind of registrations linked to payment details, whether a particular student has already paid for their registration for a particular course. That really made a big difference. So quite quickly people got on board. I think I just said kind of the manuals in Odoo could be improved. I think our internal manuals could also be improved. So we still have a way to go there. But I think all in all, I think it went well, and quite quickly people started to see the advantages, and quite often a kind of better functionality. So compared to the single product.
And I imagine by just using the tool for a couple of months, getting used to it, maybe it will work the same way for the communication, that they, along the way, they get more used to a way of communicating that they weren't before.
Yeah, no, it's especially the communication with the clients, with the students, kind of that it's all scattered over all the apps. That's what is still a bit of a struggle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe to close my set of questions, now that you've been using Odoo and your colleagues have been using Odoo for the past 8 to 9 months already, we saw it a little bit in the video already, but are there any other advantages that they're really pleased with and love to talk about?
Yeah, so kind of more looking at a higher level, kind of let's say the owner of the company and the CEO, I think sees that kind of has a better control over what's happening, better insights into the finances. Early this morning we talked about the real-time finance, and actually that's what we're having. We're having real-time finance. Kind of a year ago, we were kind of still processing the accounting from the year before that. So it was kind of 7 months later, we were finally closing the books, and now we're kind of almost ready to kind of press the button at the end of the year, and we're done. So I think that's at a higher level, kind of a main advantage. Of course, also some of the processes are speeded up, especially in the finance, where we kind of now have a kind of continuous kind of flow from a first person coming into our systems, kind of with the details, and then kind of they might register, or they do a language test, and that's all kind of one continuous flow. So there's quite a lot of time saving there. We don't have to transfer data from one system to the other, and I think that the users appreciate especially the ability to look at data in an integrated way. I was very pleased to see that the dashboard is now kind of looking a lot better, and that there's also a knowledge app. Now, I've been told by Raluca that we shouldn't immediately upgrade to the next version. Maybe it's better to kind of wait 1 more year. So, but of course, kind of I'm really keen to kind of maybe go for that next level. Also, performance, I think, very good because we are struggling a little bit performance, especially the website. It's not as snappy as I would like it to be. So there are definitely some things which can be improved there.
Okay. Yeah. So all in all, am I correct to summarize that the gain of efficiency for the employees has been a big advantage, and as well a bigger and better overview on the whole business itself outside of their own job and their own responsibility?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for my part. We would now like to open up a little bit of the questions to the audience, if there is some people that would like to ask Jan further details about the project.
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick reminder before leaving the room, there is another talk behind the door, so please keep silent. Thank you. Now the questions.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed your talk immensely because in the last 2 years I work at a federation who has also a training center. We did the same. We really did the same. We had even the same issues with our website crashing and being a bit hurried. I'm doing a talk about that this afternoon, by the way. I find it very interesting that you do manage your courses using the events app. And we do not do that. We choose another path. I wanted to know, have I understood correctly that you have some 30 plus students, or how many
Teachers.
students? Teachers, okay.
We have like 2,000 students per year.
2,000 students. Yeah. And it works with the management of the
Yeah,
students?
we have like 250 courses a year or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. How do you manage to plan, then export and re-import your planning, your schedule into events?
Yeah, so that's where Odoo is not. We're not using Odoo because we, in the definition of the courses and all the lessons, we still use an Excel kind of file where we kind of define everything, and then we upload, and the course becomes an event, and each lesson becomes a track. And that's the way we run that. And then we also upload some other information, like the name of the course and things like that. So we found the easiest way to do this and quickest way to do that. If there's another option in Odoo to do that better, of course, we would welcome that. But for now, we haven't found that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your talk. So I guess the question is also a little bit answered already by the previous answer, because planning of rooms and teachers is something that we are looking into for a sports center who's interested in Odoo. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering how you solve it, but probably in Excel, I guess.
Now, so some of the planning can actually be done within Odoo. So, for instance, having kind of particular rooms, either virtual rooms, Zoom rooms we call them, or actually physical rooms, that is possible to do. But I would say kind of in the calendar app, there's still some room for improvement kind of doing that, kind of both the way it looks, but also the way you handle kind of that. So we're using that, but there's still some room for improvement there.
And the teachers, do they go into Odoo as well?
We don't have the teachers yet in Odoo as users. So we kind of setting them. We're now in the process of setting them up as employees, but then we have to upload timesheets. So that's still a little bit of a suboptimal way, but definitely kind of something which already saves us a lot of time.
Okay, that was the last question, so thank you.
No, there are questions there.
The very last.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. Very quickly, if a student signs up for several courses, is he able to see a timeline of all of his lessons?
Yeah, so that use case is actually doesn't really exist. Kind of people or students typically sign up for a course and then they would follow up with the next course. So there's no kind of way to do that. We do, of course, kind of provide them with a registration confirmation and all the details of the courses, all the timings, etc. But no kind of parallel courses at this stage. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Jan, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the event.